Hi and welcome to this reading. Today's reading is a collective love reading. I've been picking up on the energy of 911, Mother Mary energy for the past, for the past 2 years. It's been coming through thick and strong in my readings, but yesterday I cannot tell you how many ambulances I heard, how many times I saw that number 911, either when I was watching a video and I would look up and I would see that number on the time on the clock, on a sign that I went past. It was everywhere. The most amount of times that I have seen that number in the last 2 years in a pocket of time. So I'm going to pull some cards on it. It wasn't the reading that I had planned to do this morning. I had planned to do, and I will still do the other reading, but as I said, it's almost like the energy is pushing forward and it wants to be heard. So as I said, this is a collective, a love reading. If you are new to my channel, please excuse that's the dogs next door playing in the backyard. Squabbling, pair of dogs squabbling. Might be a message in that for somebody. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the message. All of my readings are timeless. Whenever you stumble across the reading, you are meant to find it. Part of the pieces of puzzle that you need to collect in order to get more information on the bigger puzzle that you are creating, that puzzle of your life. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs, so if you are called to any of those, they can be found, the links to them can be found in the description box. I am an illustrator, so they're all hand-drawn, and specifically they are blue and white because in my prayers, in my life, I tap into Mother Mary energy. Now, Mother Mary energy is blue and white. If you ever see depictions of Mother Mary, she's always in blue and white, which is why all my cards are drawn that way. I have got a bit of a raspy voice at the moment, so please bear with me through this reading. As I said, I was seeing the number 911 everywhere yesterday. 911 as a number, biblically, means divine completeness and the power of God. So a divine connection. We're picking up on a love energy, soulmate energy, a divine connection that is a soul contract with the man upstairs. Now, it's almost like somebody doesn't want me to get this message out. What I got was divine mission. This was a card that flicked through as I was doing the pre-shuffle, number 41. Now, number 41, as it aligns with that particular angel, 4 and a 1 is 5, which is change. A 4 is perseverance, and a 1 is a new beginning. But this particular angel aligns with the 4 of Swords. Now, the 4 of Swords in the tarot is somebody, in the original drawing of the tarot, the 4 of Swords is a guy who's been away at battle. He's had some hurt, he's had some heartbreak, and he's lying in a church, almost gaining his strength. It's a real dormant energy. It's a healing energy. It's healing after heartbreak. It's a time out. It's this particular connection being in a hold phase. And that was another message that I was picking up on yesterday, that God puts us in a period of stillness. If you think about 4 as perseverance, persevering in the stillness before the 5, which is change. So a 1 is a new beginning, a 4 is a perseverance, and then combined, it's change. And when you think about 911, now 911 for me is Mother Mary energy. 911 And there are lots of religious texts that actually say that the true date of Jesus' birth was actually September 11. In terms of the astrological things that were happening in the sky at the time, lots and lots of different information. You can go on down a rabbit hole searching that up. But for me, 911 is Mother Mary energy. And you will be able to hear my dishwasher. I've got lots of jobs that need doing, and I need to do a reading as well. But if you think about Mother Mary, Angel Gabriel came to her to give her this information that she was about to embark on a journey, that she was about to have a baby, but she actually had to be in a period, that gestation period of 9 months. She went away, quietly went away, like that man in the church. Not a timeout, because it's not necessarily, you're not being put in a timeout because you've done something wrong. It's more a growth phase that you've been in before ushering in the new. Why have you been in that? Because you have a divine mission. You have a divine mission with somebody else. A spiritual love, a spiritual connection with somebody else that is going to help to usher in this new age. And I also want to say that we are now in the age of Aquarius. Pluto has just gone into Aquarius. Huge transformations happening. There is a reason that these spiritual connections, these highly, highly spiritual connections, are coming through at this particular point in time. Because Pluto in Aquarius, as an astrological placement, happens every 250 years. It is a time of major revolution. A spiritual revolution, perhaps in the way that we look at the relationships and the commitment to the relationships, or how quickly we jump into relationships. If you think about the world as a whole, divorce rates are through the roof. There's no, it's too hard, I'm leaving, meaning that there's no till death do us part, for better or for worse. It's relationships have almost got that, I want to use the word cancel culture, but that's the wrong word. They're flippant. And I just heard they're easy in, easy out. And perhaps these relationships are coming back in to revolutionize the way collectively we see the sanctity of marriage, I want to say. But they've been lying dormant. And I almost want to say that one or both parties, God has had deliberately focused on other things because of the importance of these relationships and the importance of the timing of them coming in. They need to come through in this Pluto and Aquarius phase. So they've been held apart. Because if they had have come together any sooner, they may not have had the desired effect. There's a divine mission here in these relationships. 41. Let me just get a drink of water. Now, as I was setting up the cards this morning and bringing all the stuff out of my room, out to my living room, one of my books that I have, which has got all this beautiful information about angels, was actually underneath a little table that I use in my bedroom where I've been doing my readings. And a stream of light was coming through the window right across the book, but it was refracted light, and so it was a rainbow of light that was coming back. And I think of Noah's Ark, 8 people on the boat. There's something here about 8 people on the boat, and then the dove comes in to tell them that it's time 40 days and 40 nights. Is that how long they were on the boat? 40 days, 40 nights? Or I'm seeing 80. Now, at the moment, I'm creating some new decks, Mother Mary deck, a Gematria deck, and some of the information coming through that's now feeding through into my readings. Gematria is a biblical code that is underlaid through religious text. And I've been really tapping into it because it's another way that we can spiritually look at a situation and see synchronicities and kind of have our eyes opened to hidden meanings in things. So for every letter of the alphabet, there is an alphanumerical value. And when you get a word or a phrase, you work out the value of each letter numerically, and you add it up and you get a number. The code, and it's called the Gematria code, then provides you with additional information. The Gematria calculator I've actually popped in the description. So if you're seeing a word, a phrase, a number repeatedly, pop it in there and see what pops up. The number 911 in Gematria is the divine feminine. The divine feminine is Empress energy. It's something that is about to be birthed. So all of these 911s that I was seeing yesterday, all of these ambulances which I associate with 911. Now in Australia, our emergency services number is 000, but you know, for everywhere else, 911. This message is coming through. Something is about to be birthed. Why? Because we are in the Pluto and Aquarius transit. It's time for major revolution. It's time for big upheaval, big change. And you can hear my garbage truck is coming up the street. It's a Monday morning here. Taking out the trash on the things that don't work. The repeating cycles of toxicity that are happening in relationships at the moment. The way society views relationships from a spiritual perspective. And I wouldn't even say that, you know, many marriages are actually viewed that way anymore. I mean, it's not normal. My husband and I celebrated 25 years of marriage on the 8th of this month. That's not a normal thing anymore. Now in the Gematria code, 911 is the divine feminine. It's also divine light. It's also the same number for heaven's code. When you look at that Gematria, you can look at it as Hebrew Gematria because of this style of reading the code alphanumerically comes from reading the Old Testament. But in simple Gematria, which is another way of reading the code, 911 also aligns with the number 1110. That number aligns with the World Trade Center, or the phrases, the World Trade Center, the Truman Show, a Carrington event, the first trumpet, and the stock market crash. Next year, 2026, will be the 25th anniversary of the World Trade Center, which is 9/11, 911. 911 also means a spiritual awakening and redemption. And you think about all of those events, the World Trade Center, a Carrington event, which is a huge solar storm or solar flare that comes off the sun that essentially takes the power out for days. The last one happened, I think, in the late 1800s. It would literally take the power out on the planet for days. The stock market crash. It is a huge spiritual awakening that is taking place at this particular time, this 18-month transit, where the North Node is in Pisces, which is spirituality, spiritual love. And during this transit of Pluto and Aquarius, some big catastrophic event where we understand, if you think of the Truman Show, it's a wake-up call as to the type of relationships that have been invested in, and it's being led by these soulmates that are coming back into union. just listening to that rhythmic sound of my dishwasher. Soulmates that are coming back into union. Okay, let's get, this is my divine messages deck. What do we want to know? The spiritual connections, how beautiful. The spiritual connections that are coming through. Fall from grace. Anything that is not aligned on a spiritual level is falling away to allow, or has fallen away, because there's no respect in them. To allow us to get a better understanding of how we should be connecting on a spiritual level with people. Divine mission. I mean, love. We're all meant to be here to find our person, our partner, and create the inner world within the big outer world. Be confident on the bottom. Okay, let's get a card. Anything for this connection? 8 of Swords. Yeah, that's perfect. That is Jupiter in Gemini. That's a current placement until till June this year. Jupiter in Gemini. Relationships that have been held back until this particular point in time. Jupiter is 777. Jupiter is fate. Jupiter is your luck. Listen to those birds. But it's been held back on purpose because it wasn't meant to come together any sooner than this. It was actually meant to come together at a time where I almost want to say these relationships are going to be the emergency services, the cavalry coming in to save the day, to actually show people how to realign with themselves and find a spiritual connection, because the levels that people are connecting on are so far off what was divinely intended for us collectively. Okay, let's have a look at the energy around in the collective at the moment. The 9 of Swords. Relationships that bring pain. What's happening in the 3D? That's toxicity, but the devil is also Saturn. What's happening in the soul? King of Swords, which is Uranus in Libra. Uranus is ruled by Aquarius. As I said, we're in this 20-year Pluto and Aquarius transit. Uranus is the planet of earthquakes. It's a shake-up. These divine couples are coming through to shake up the toxicity that's happening in the 3D, to shake up the image of what a relationship looks like, to show people what a spiritual connection looks like. I just heard role model, being a role model to what a spiritual connection actually looks like. I heard to bring chivalry back. What's that one? Six of Pentacles, equal give and take. A message from the man upstairs. The world, the end of this karmic cycle that we have been in. The world is the end. The world is Saturn. It's karmic completion. And the potential outcome of these couples. Look at that, the High Priestess. Wow. The High Priestess and the Chariot. Now the Chariot is, it's hidden. The Chariot is the moon and the High Priestess is the moon. Cancer energy, but also the moon. The 7th house is, I want to say the 7th house is the house of marriage, but I'm not quite sure. And the Queen of Cups, intuition. How beautiful is that? the outcome. High Priestess is highly spiritual relationships. Intuition is divine feminine energy, guiding people out of toxic relationships. That's the mission, divine mission, to guide people out of toxic relationships, because they then have a template. These couples are a template as to what a true, loving, giving, equal give and take relationship. And I did see the Six of Pentacles of what a true, loving, equal give and take relationship looks like. And I saw something the other day, it popped up in my feed on Instagram, and it was a lady, and she was talking to a woman in the crowd. She was on stage and she was talking to a woman in the crowd, and the woman in the crowd had this really, and I'm not attacking women because men do it too, but she had this really very widely open top on, and she had no bra on, and she clearly had to be using some sort of tape to stop things falling out of the front of her shirt. And she was asking the question, why can't I be treated better, but why are men so territorial? And the female speaker basically said to her, you are what you attract. And if you go out dressed like that, you are going to attract the attention, because men are men. You are going to attract the attention of other men. You're going to end up in a big fight with your partner, and that cycle will continue. I just keep hearing it's bringing chivalry back. It's bringing back that essence of respecting yourself and respecting the other person, because you have a role model of two individuals who show respect for one another. In how they move, in how they dress, in how they treat each other publicly. These relationships are old-fashioned. These relationships that are coming in are old-fashioned. They are pulling chairs out, they are flowers, they are, I want to say, Sunday drives. They are not photos every 2 seconds on social media. They are not two people sitting side by side next to each other on the couch just scrolling. They are how two people work together as a team on a spiritual level to help build and grow their relationship. And I want to say they're going to be beautiful, but they've been held back. They've almost been held back. When you think about when you call an ambulance, you call an ambulance when something drastic has happened. Something drastic has happened in the collective, and they're being called in at this particular time. The star, I just cut that on the star, to bring healing. But they're fated. The star is also fated. What have we got on the bottom? Justice. Now, the Justice card is obviously legal. But the Justice card is balance. It's bringing divine balance back into a collective of relationships that are highly toxic, or a pattern in relationships of always going for something that's not good for you, because everybody around you is doing the same thing, and you don't have a role model as to how to choose something different, how to choose something better. And when you see these relationships that are coming through, and maybe you're one of them, when you see these relationships that are about to come through, you can say, well, he treats her like that. I'd like that too. And once that thought goes into your mind, you are then aware of anybody that comes or steps towards you. As I said before, it almost places a template onto the love that you are wanting to receive, the respect that you are wanting to receive. And anybody, fall from grace, anybody that steps forward that doesn't align with that steps forward in some sort of toxicity, male or female, not gender specific. Because you've got a template of how you want your love, you can actually say, actually, no, thank you. I'm happy to wait. The other thing is too, because we've got the I wanted to say the Eight of Pentacles, but it's the Eight of Swords. Because with the Eight of Swords, then the Eight of Pentacles is putting in the hard work. It's the harvest. After you've put in the hard work, these relationships that you will come to know have had to, I want to say, be kept hidden. God has specifically kept them hidden, kept them held back. And those stories that will come out, and it might be, somebody around you that you know, it might be, and when you hear that story of that love, oh, well, once we met, we knew we were always meant to be together, and now we can look back and go, yeah, I was held in that particular job, or I was held, doing this university degree, or I was held in that toxic marriage, or I was held until such a time where my story could actually be a story that gives somebody the hope that waiting isn't necessarily a bad option. I think people are too afraid to hang out for the perfect love. And so they jump into the wrong things. Okay, let's have a look at what's on the bottom there. Two of Wands. They jump into the wrong things, making plans. They make plans with the wrong people. And it causes heartache. Well, it causes, look at that, death. It causes divorce. I mean, the amount of people that have been married multiple times. They marry, and it doesn't work out the way they want, so they leave. And then they marry again, and a similar thing happens. And it's just this repeating pattern of toxicity. Death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth. Seven of Swords. That's the moon in Aquarius. That's the lying, cheating, stealing card. Sitting over the devil, which is toxicity. Toxic patterns that keep repeating. The devil is Saturn, which is exactly what I just said here. Too eager to make plans, that they just step back into the same thing. Looking for the victory. Six of Wands, looking for the victory. What they actually get is the same karmic pattern. Saturn, again, the world. They end one karmic cycle with one person and step into a new karmic cycle with another toxic energy. Because there isn't, and I'm just trying to think of people in the public eye that have these types of relationships. Even think about people in your life that have these types of relationships. And I'm not talking, well, you can think about the toxic relationships that people have, but you can also think about, who do you know that has a long-lasting relationship? In my realms, the longest lasting relationships are the relationships of parents and grandparents. Now, it may be different for you, but my parents have been married over 50 years. My grandparents were married 60, 70 years. But those spiritual relationship role models aren't there. And that's why these couples are coming in. The King of Swords for a shake-up, because that is Uranus in Libra. Libra is the Justice card. What else can we get? Bringing in the shake-up. Page of Cups. Now, they came out upside down. The Page of Cups is often the Secret Admirer card. When you think about a secret admirer, watch and wait. Assess the situation before they step forward. If it's in reverse, that means somebody stepped forward. So pages are immature. Stepping forward too quickly into relationships with the wrong people. That's what that is, stepping forward too quickly into relationships with the wrong people. That's the moon in Pisces. Pisces is spirituality. The moon is what's hidden, not recognizing that there's no spiritual essence to the relationships that you're stepping into. And they leave a mark. And this came through in a conversation that I was having yesterday, because we were sitting in a yoga bar and we'd just been out for lunch. And we were sitting in a yoga bar and we were looking at all of these young girls coming through, literally wearing barely any clothes, faces done to the nines, massive big eyelashes, butt cheeks hanging out of their shorts, knowing full well that all those little girls wanted, and I'm saying little girls, they were probably 19, 20, all they really want is a deep, spiritual, kind, loving, respectful love. But if you're with somebody and you're jumping into a relationship, jumping into bed with somebody, for a woman, that person's DNA is in your body for 25 years. The physical, the emotional mark that is left from these toxic interactions is with you for a lifetime. And these couples are coming in to change that. Showing people this secret admirer energy, that it's better to wait and assess and find the right person than jump in too quickly and cause trauma and heartbreak with all the wrong people. Ace of Pentacles. These divine relationships are a gift. They're a gift from God to show people what true love is meant to be. My voice. Three of Pentacles. They're a gift from God to show people where you are meant to build. Three of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn. Mars is Emperor energy. It's Aries energy. It is stepping forward and building. This is what's happening in the soul. Stepping forward and building, but it's once you've done. I don't want to say the research. It's once you've taken the time and effort. And that fear of missing out energy, I have to be in a relationship, so I'm going to choose to be in a toxic relationship where I'm going to turn that up the right way. It's these divine couples that are showing people that it's better to wait for the right person, for the right connection, than to jump into all the wrong ones. Message from the man upstairs. The Fool. Foolishly jumping into all the wrong ones. The Eight of Wands is the fastest moving card in the deck. Running headfirst like a fool into the wrong relationships. One, because there's potentially a fear of missing out. Two, because maybe the template of what a relationship is meant to look like has been distorted in the relationships around you. But it's a teaching people that rushing in, fools rush in, that rushing into the wrong relationships garners this lack of respect and almost keeps you trapped, because that is the Eight of Swords is being trapped. Being trapped in an illusion of what a relationship is meant to look like. That's what these couples are coming through to show you what a real relationship looks like. Page of Cups. A spiritual relationship. The Moon in Pisces, a spiritual relationship. Okay, and the outcome. The Lovers. And the Queen of Pentacles. So what I'm getting from those cards, the Lovers is obviously, that's Adam and Eve. That's divine love. And when you think about divine couples, Adam and Eve, Jacob and Rachel, Mary and Joseph, You know, those couples through history that you can, you know, beautiful spiritual relationships. This card here is the Queen of Pentacles. She's single, independent, free. She doesn't need a man. Not gender specific. She doesn't need a woman. She knows her own worth independently. That divine feminine energy. She knows her own worth independently. She knows who she is. She knows what she's worth. And she comes into union with that person who is the same. There's no toxicity. There's no imbalance. It's perfect. Divine masculine, divine feminine balance. The Seven of Pentacles, that's divine timing. The Seven of Pentacles is about where you plant your seeds. And where you plant your seeds, the soil that you plant your seeds in, is ultimately going to dictate the growth. So if you're planting your seeds in toxicity, then how can you expect this beautiful tree to bloom? These relationships are coming in to teach people about the soil that they need to plant their seeds in order to grow this big tree. If you think of a family tree, this big tree that will grow over this lifetime, somewhere where the roots are solid and stable. How interesting. Okay, now let's have a look. Anything else from the angels? Number 4, Elamia, travel and mental illness. That angel aligns with the Queen of Wands. Sometimes the Queen of Wands, for me, can be a little superficial, and that's what these toxic relationships are. Being with somebody because you look good together. Being with somebody because they have the same financial background. It's about, and I'm Catholic, and in the Catholic Church, and I'm not sure whether they do it anymore. I mean, as I said, I've been married 25 years, but we had to do a marriage preparation course before the priest would marry us. And it was just done with a couple within the church, and we had to sit down, and it was over a couple of evenings, and we had all these questions that were asked of us separately, and then we came back together with this couple who at the time I think had been married maybe 30 years themselves. Just waiting for that plane to go over. And it was talking about the foundations of the relationship that we were wanting to build together, and asking those questions, you know, the basic questions that are the things that actually cause conflict in relationships. And you'll find that the relationships that stay together are the ones where each individual's morals and ideals and expectations of the relationship are actually the same as the other person. And if I look at, say, for example, my relationship with my husband, you know, we bicker like any couple bickers, but the core foundations of our beliefs, our spiritual beliefs, and our morals are the same. That's what these relationships are. These relationships that are coming back in. Because people travel in mental illness. People they're flitting from one relationship to the next on a surface level, but they're not actually going down to the depths. If they actually had have taken the time to observe the other person, observe, I even want to say understand their own morals and which things are absolutely not, then they would actually put themselves in better stead to choosing the right person. And confidence. We had that on the bottom. Be confident. They would actually be more confident in choosing the right person. And that confidence then attracts in that mate, because they put up their boundaries and they say, actually, you know what? These are the things that I want in a relationship. These are my values, these are my morals, and I'm not going to, I'm trying to find the word, settle. I'm not going to settle for less. And so therefore they then attract in, but it's because they've now got a role model. These soulmate energies that are coming through, these beautiful big divine couples that are coming through, that will act as a catalyst for other people to start putting up boundaries and saying no to toxic behavior within relationships, and perhaps understanding why. It's a full moon in Scorpio. Let go of the negativity, letting go of toxicity. New moon vibes in Cancer. Brace yourself for some closure on a personal matter. Okay, let's get a song. Dream a little dream of me, Ella Fitzgerald. Stars fading, but I linger on. Still craving your kiss, I'm longing to linger till dawn. Just saying this, sweet dreams till sunbeams find you, sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they may be, dream a little dream of me. That's those couples that are coming through, that have been dormant. Dormant, the Seven of Pentacles, held by the divine until now. Mirrors, Justin Timberlake. I don't want to lose you now. I'm looking right at the other half of me. The vacancy that sat in my heart is a space that you now hold. Show me how to fight for now. And I'll tell you, baby, it was easy coming back to you. Coming back into you once I figured out you were right here all along. That's about knowing that the right person will come into your life at the right time, and it's okay to not be with anybody, to not be in and out of these relationships that are wrong and toxic, because that right person is there waiting in the wings. Patience, Guns N' Roses. How funny is that? Waiting patiently in the wings. Okay. I wish we could be together right now, Patience. This is my love messages deck. Let's get some messages, collective messages about these relationships coming in and about the toxic relationships that collectively have been in this repeated toxic cycle. I know exactly how you feel when you look at me with those eyes. Now, you could take that two ways. You could take that as these couples that are coming in that just know that they're meant to be together. They know that they're on a divine mission. They know that they're here for something bigger. Or if we're looking at it from a toxic perspective, it's got that real hit it and quit it energy. You know, somebody meets at the bar on a Saturday night and they go home with that person. They think they've fallen in love. They start a relationship, but they've started it on the foundations. They planted their seeds in the wrong soil. And then they're stuck in this loop, this pattern. Moving closer to union, that's these couples. You are often on my mind. Serendipity. Just tell me the truth. Breaking bad habits. That's what they're here to do. Break the collective bad habits. I'm feeling vulnerable. Nope. I don't know I'm so frustrated. The collective bad habits of people entering into relationships for all the wrong reasons and then wondering why it didn't work out. Blaming themselves, I'm feeling vulnerable. Breaking the bad habits. Mirroring. I don't know why I picked that up, but I picked it up. Look at that Hierophant on the bottom. Hierophant is God, it's spiritual. It's a soul contract that these couples have with God. Okay, I'm going to get some Scrabble tiles. Letters and numbers in here. Could be your first, middle, last initial. Energies of anything around you, the initials of anything around you, something you're seeing. Just take it as it resonates. It makes a little bit of noise, so as I shake it, if you've got hearing sensitivity, just turn your volume down. Okay, you and a 1, UN, peacekeeping, N and a 1, a Z and a 10, a H and a 4, a Y and a 4, a T, YouTube, a T and a 1, a J and an 8, a W and a 4, an R and a 1, a G and a 2, a D and a 2, an X, the end, that's the end, the tav, X and an 8, an M and a 3, a C and a 3, an I, that's a Roman numeral, I think. I don't know what it is though. An I and a 1, a K and a 5, a P and a 3, and an O and a 1. Now finally I'm going to get you 3 final cards before I lose my voice. Anything else we need to know about these relationships that are coming in? Strength. They're going to be powerful. These are power couples. Power couples in the spiritual community from the aspect of showing us collectively what true love is. That card is number 8. And I've just looked over at my notes. And I'm not sure whether I said in the beginning, because this reading, I recorded the intro 3 or 4 times. And I can't remember whether I said it in the beginning intro. Sanctum Immaculata was the song that I got when I did my random shuffle. I don't think I did. Sanctum Immaculata is the song that's sung in the Catholic Church. This is the monks of the Abbey of Notre Dame. So it's Gregorian chants, and I do a random shuffle before a reading. That song is about the Immaculate Conception of Mary, which is that 911 energy that was coming through. Things that were hidden that are about to be birthed. These relationships that were hidden that are about to be birthed. And then I got, and I think it's, I don't know if it's, no, it's not the script. Never seen anything quite like this. I think I want you more than want. I think I need you more than. But I've never seen anything quite like you tonight. It's a beautiful song. I'll list those songs in the description. There might be more messages in the lyrics or the music videos, although Sanctum Immaculata won't have one. But that song's got a real watching and waiting energy. These relationships about waiting for the right person instead of jumping in and out of the wrong relationships. Look at that, 7 of Pentacles on the bottom. Waiting for the right person. And the 4 of Pentacles. Holding, that's the Sun in Capricorn. Holding on and waiting for the right person. Anything else? 7 of Wands. 7's highly spiritual number. 7 of Wands is Mars in Leo, not jumping in, saying, actually, no, thank you, but I'm sensing some toxic patterns in your behavior that don't align with what I'm looking for in a spiritual connection. The Wheel of Fortune. 7, 777. And the Knight of Pentacles, look at that. So that is Saturn in Capricorn. The Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter energy. And the 7 of Wands is Mars in Leo. Having the strength, because we saw the Strength card. Look at that on the bottom, the 2 of Cups. We saw the Strength card before. Power couples that show the collective that having patience, that having enough confidence in what you want and what you're looking for in a relationship means that sometimes you have to wait. Even when you see everybody else getting the, I want to say the illusion of what perfect love is. That your fortune in love is actually sitting there dormant, waiting for you to actually get to a point in your life where you can have enough self-respect and enough self-confidence to actually say no to the wrong relationship and wait for the right one. 2 of Cups is a soulmate connection. A God-ordained soulmate connection that's meant to come to you once all of this karma has been worked through. And these divine couples are the catalyst collectively for this change. And I just heard they're the recipe. So if you go on Instagram and you see, you know, the picture of the cake that's made and all the layers, and it's being cooked at the right temperature, and it's, you know, it's got all the right ingredients and stuff like that, and then you go and try and replicate it, but you replicate it using the wrong flour or the wrong sugar or the wrong oven temperature. That's all the wrong people that you bring in your life, and then you get sad because you don't get the same cake. Your cake doesn't look the same. But if you actually take the time to read the recipe, these people are providing the recipe for beautiful spiritual love, the template. So that's what I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this very impromptu reading. I'm going to take a little bit of time, and then I'm going to sit down and actually do the original reading that I was meant to do today. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell. If you're called to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Thanks again, and I will see you again in another reading.